If the area behind your fan looks like this, then the fins that you can't see almost definitely do as well. Compressed air can't really hit these at the right angle without further disassembly, and if you happen to be in a smoky environment, it is especially difficult to remove what I can only refer to as sticky dust. This video is a compilation of repairs that I've performed on PS5s that were overheating and or shutting down with or without warning. Each PS5 model has a slightly different disassembly procedure. If you need more details specific to your model, take a look at my PS5 repair playlist. First thing you want to do is make sure that your cooling fan is operating properly. Now if you power up your console, put your hand back here, you should be able to feel some air coming out. But if you can't or you're not sure, you can remove this panel. This is going to be the bottom panel that we're looking at here by lifting up on this corner right here and then just pulling it over to the side. Now as you can see, this fan is not spinning. Sometimes, even though the device is on, sometimes these fans will seize, but sometimes they just won't turn for who knows why. Something fails on the inside. So what I'm going to do here, and this is not necessary, if your fan is not spinning, it is almost definitely in need of replacement. However, if you happen to have a multimeter, you can confirm that there's power getting to the fan. So we should have 12 volts DC right over here on the right hand wire there. So I'm going to take my multimeter, put it into DC mode, and we'll put the black probe over here on one of these screws. And then if you put your red probe right over here and touch this wire, you should see 12 volts. So we are getting power to where this fan connects. However, the fan is not spinning. So I'm going to show you a couple different fans that you can use to replace this. Now there are two versions. There's a 17 blade and a 23 blade fan. As far as I know, the main advantage of the 23 blade fan is that it's supposed to be quieter. There's a possibility that it might cool more efficiently as well. I can't confirm that. I don't know that for sure. But as far as I know, everything is interchangeable, so there's probably no real reason to replace your fan with a 17 blade, although if you want to keep everything original and you've got a 17 blade fan, you have that option as well. As far as determining which fan you have, all you have to do is count the blades here. Now, okay, so I've powered the console off because we're going to go ahead and replace this fan quickly. If that's your only problem, you're in great shape. You just lift up on this little vent cover here and it's going to pop out, and then it's got two little tabs here that go on either end. This console has been taken apart before, so I don't know if they cleaned it. I don't see any signs of dust, so that leads me to believe that basically the fan's probably going to be the problem here. So if you want to test this, it's very easy. You can just kind of grab a hold of the base of this. You don't want to wiggle it around a lot because you can break off that connector inside, but if you just lift it straight up, it should unplug pretty easily. And then you can take your replacement fan and make sure you get this facing the right direction, plug that in. Okay, and then if you hold on down here, I'm going to hit the power button. And as you can see, our fan is now spinning. So we've determined on this unit, at least, that the fan is the problem. So in order to replace it, we've just got 4 screws we have to remove here. And it's pretty straightforward. I'll show you the process here momentarily as soon as I turn this back off again. Depending on which brand of tools you're working with, you're going to need a TR8 or TR9 most likely, which is a torque security bit. It's going to have a little dot down in the center here because there are posts in the center of these screws. So you do need a security type to remove these. We'll take these 4 out real quick. You're going to have 2 machine screws on this side that are pretty long, 2 coarse threaded screws, 1 long one here and 1 short one here. These 2 are interchangeable. Okay, so you're going to take off this little shroud here, grab your old fan, throw it in the trash, or wherever you want to keep it. Get the new one, set it down right in here, and just maneuver your wire underneath this little tab here. Get this plugged in. 4 screws go back on, and then we are back in business. Now, I'm going to take this a step further to take a look on the inside because sometimes the fan's not the only problem. I have a feeling on this one it is, but I'll show you some clips from some other consoles that I've worked on where we have a couple other reasons that are going to cause your PS5 to overheat and shut down. Alright, to get this the rest of the way open, again, make sure it's turned off. We're going to have screws that go all the way around the outside perimeter here. one PlayStation screw here. You want to keep these in order. They are all different sizes. I should say there are a variety of sizes. And this one does not like to stick to a magnet for some reason. When you remove this panel, there should be a little insert here. This one appears to be missing. Not a huge deal, but that's the dust cover for your expansion slot. And what we want to do next is take a look at the liquid metal under here and make sure that it hasn't developed any dry spots, basically oxidation, between the heatsink and the processor. If you have the disk drive version, you can unplug this cable and go ahead and move that out of the way at this point. So to do that, we're going to have to unplug all these cables, including the antenna wires. Do be careful with these. You don't want to damage them. I like to pry, just lift kind of right up under the metal. Make sure you're not pushing down on some components at the same time, because that would be a problem. And then we have a whole bunch of silver screws that are going to come out. But before I do that, I'm going to put some 99% isopropyl alcohol on here so that we can preserve these stickers and not have to cut new ones. Yes, that's right. Sony used little plastic label stickers to hold their antenna wire in place, so that's neat. Now, as you can see, there are lots of screws here, so if you're going to be working on PS5s, you're going to want to invest in something electric like this. The catch is you don't want something that's not got enough torque to get these screws out, but you also don't want too much torque because it's very easy to strip these things, and if you do that, you're going to have basically you're going to have a bad time. So I'll try to tag something in the video that is compatible. This is no longer available, unfortunately, but there are plenty other drivers out there that will work. Now our alcohol should have done its job, and we can just kind of slide these wires out from underneath the stickers. We'll come back and use those when we put it back together. But what I'm going to do is take off this metal shield right here, which, God, it is still really, really hot. Without that fan on there, you're definitely going to have some problems. Now, it's always possible that the fan burned out because it was working too hard, maybe because we had a liquid metal issue. I don't see a lot of dust in here. I've looked down here where the vents are. Looks pretty clean, so I don't think we have any issues with air circulation. I think it was just the dead fan, but we do need to see what that liquid metal looks like. You want to find something that you can cover it up with also, so that none of that stuff gets contaminated while we're working inside. Oh, and by the way, there is one more cable here. Go ahead and slide that out. We've got these two Phillips screws that need to come out. And now for the moment of truth. You may have to apply some pressure, but I usually start lifting here, and you'll see that this will come up. It's going to be a little tricky right here because this is where the power supply plugs in. So you might have to get under here, just under the edge. Don't go way inside here. There are other components on the bottom side of this board, but if you just go along the ledge here and gently lift, you should be able to pop that out. We'll open it up, and as you can see, there's a big dry spot. Oxidation forming on this liquid metal, and a lot of the liquid metal has kind of worked its way out towards the edges. So what we want to do is clean this up, and this part's a little tricky. I'll show you under the microscope. I'm going to cover this for now, and we'll come back to that shortly. My main concern is this, but we want both of these surfaces to be nice and clean, because what happens is if you've got oxidation on this stuff, the metal will literally repel from it. So these surfaces have to be clean in order for the liquid metal to get good coverage, and once you develop oxidation, it's going to stop that from happening. Now in the worst case scenario, you may have to add some liquid metal here. Sometimes you can kind of gather up the stuff that's gone around to the edges, but you want to make sure that you have good coverage here, and you'll see what's going to happen. These areas right here, as you clean them up, you'll hear a little kind of squeaky sound. And that's the swab just kind of rubbing up against debris and oxidation that's on here. And you see it's just kind of cloudy right now. But if you just keep gently working at it, you'll see that this stuff starts to go away. The surface might not end up being perfectly clean, but the important part is that eventually the liquid metal will start to adhere again. So just keep at it until you see that it starts to stick. And this is what we're looking for. Now, moving the liquid metal that leaked off of the edges can be a little bit tricky. It does kind of want to pull itself together with surface tension, but it's just kind of one of those things that you have to practice with a little bit. Now, worst case scenario, if you don't have luck with the swab, you can use a syringe, and in fact, if you buy the liquid metal package, it comes with an applicator that makes this a little bit easier. All right, get in here, suck up some of this stuff. And then we can put it back onto the surface. Once we've confirmed that your fan works and the liquid metal is evenly distributed, it's time to take a look at what most people miss when they blow the dust out of their game console. Got a bunch of fins here, some here, and then way down inside, these just go all the way across. You can't tell right now. If the area behind your fan looks like this, then the fins that you can't see almost definitely do as well. Compressed air can't really hit these at the right angle without further disassembly. And if you happen to be in a smoky environment, it is especially difficult to remove what I can only refer to as sticky dust. All right, once you've got this secured in place, just something to cover up the liquid metal, keep it from getting contaminated. What's going to happen is when we pull the other side out, this wire right here is going to stay behind in the case. So I'm actually going to lift this up. It looks like somebody's been working on this before, actually. So I'm going to lift this up from this adhesive and just kind of get this over to the side so it's out of the way. Same with the antenna wire and this antenna wire and these wires, because as you'll see, as soon as we flip this over, take these two screws out, when you start taking the second screw out, you'll actually hear the power supply drop out from underneath. Not a big deal, but if you want to, you can put your hand under here and just kind of secure it. I don't know if you saw that, but it just shifted. And hopefully I've magnetized this thing recently. Okay, those two screws are the same. And as you'll see here, we can just lift this off like that. And we're going to have access now to our power supply, to these fins right here, all inside the case here. We can blow all the dust out of this. What I wanted to point out, though, is that I've taken these apart before. I'll get these little dust bunnies or whatever you want to call them out. What I want to point out is that sometimes you'll see dust covering this entire area on the power supply. We want to make sure that's nice and clear. This as well. This is where the heat is allowed to escape from here. And then probably equally as important is that these fins right here are designed to radiate heat. So they do become blocked if you have heavy amounts of dust and lint and other debris inside. So you want to make sure that these are nice and clean. You should literally be able to see through them from one side to the other. So this is just like the radiator grill on your car. You don't want to have it blocked up, or that's going to hold the heat inside. So whatever it takes for you to do that, usually you can blow it out with some air. If not, if you have to take something like a brush and just kind of pull that stuff off, it's really important that these are all clear so that you have maximum cooling capability for your CPU and also for your power supply.